What's up, everyone? My name's Justin Odisho. That's how I start all my videos. So for whoever's, if I end up using this anywhere, they'll enjoy that. But as you guys know, or maybe you don't, I went here too. I literally graduated a year ago. I'm 25 years old right now. And Jasmine here reached out to me. She's the head of your, what is it? Student Video Productions Club or whatever. So thank you guys all for showing up. I don't really have any specific like outlines or plan. Also, I'm talking into this because it's recording, but you guys are just hearing my voice. But anyways, thank you all for showing up. I appreciate the opportunity to talk. So I thought for the first half, I will just talk about kind of like the past couple of years of when I went to OU to kind of like right now what I'm doing, if that might help any of you in any way. I'm not here to tell you guys like what you should be doing or that you should be trying to do something similar to me or whatever, but take from it whatever you will. And then after, I will take some questions and just whatever questions you guys have that you feel like I might be able to answer, I will happily do that. So so I was just talking to you in the blue shirt. We never finished our conversation. You said you actually have seen some of my videos before.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember like what exactly it was, but I was watching your video and the water fountain in front of the library.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have gone to Oakland.
Yeah, I feel like I've had that comment a couple times, like people recognizing things, because I shot a lot of when I was going here in between classes. I was like experimenting with different types of videos. So like I made a couple crappy vlogs just trying it out, but I captured a lot of footage around the campus, which I ended up using as example footage for like lots of tutorials that I made and whatnot, which some of those tutorials ended up being the most popular videos on my channel. And you can see like the tower and the fountains and whatever. I think that's how Jasmine recognized that I was probably somewhere from around here and emailed me. But I just wanted to kind of see, or that's just kind of, I just wanted to see like show of hands how many of you guys had actually seen the videos before. So that's cool. That's good enough. I think someone else said they did. But okay, so you guys are probably, I was basically you guys probably just like a year or two ago. I'm not that much older than you. Maybe some of you are older than me, maybe not. But I'm only 25. You guys are probably like in your early 20s or whatever too. So I want to make it clear that although I'm up here like talking to you guys, I'm basically one of you guys. I do the same things as you probably. I go out to eat and have fun or whatever. I just everyone eats, right? I eat too. But yeah, like just because I'm standing in front of you talking doesn't mean I wasn't just in class sitting there. Oh, cool. We have more people. What's up, guys? All right. So you said there wasn't going to be that many people. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. So hopefully that my goal here is to give you guys a relatable example of someone who went to the same school as you, probably is from the same area as you, who is maybe doing something unique or like doing some sort of unique type of occupation with themselves, if I'd call it that. So where should I start? So I went to Macomb Community first. My college experience was like 5 years long. So that's why I'm so old right now. I don't feel old, but yeah, I went to Macomb Community for the first about 2 years of my college experience. I always just worked regular jobs, probably like a lot of you guys work. I worked at a gym. I was making minimum wage at first, and then I got a job at Nordstrom, just a retail like shoe salesman, which is still like not that it's like basically minimum wage, but like a little bit better. But in that time, I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. I just was going to school because that's what your parents or whatever, just that's just what you do. You go to school because everyone says you should go to school. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go to school, but so you guys are already ahead of me since you guys are in this film club, video club. I didn't even major in anything related to film or anything creative or photo. I majored in IT, which is information technology. So I was usually in that other building, the engineering building most of the time. I only came here like once or twice, I think, because the dean's office was up here, because I was going to see my counselor because I was confused because I was switching majors like a bunch of times. I started with a major in biology and then I switched it to IT, and I'm like, whatever. People say that if you have a job in computer science, you'll be able to get a job, or if you have a degree in computer science, you'll be able to find a job. But in the back of my head, I always knew, like, I don't know, I could never picture myself actually going to get a job, but it didn't matter because there was like 3 or 4 more years till I graduated. So I'm not going to give you guys like the whole 4 years, but there's so much life that happens in the middle of that. But what happened? So I was working at Nordstrom basically that was the last like real employer job I had for about 3 years, and barely making enough to pay for school at the same time as juggle school. So a lot of you guys probably are juggling classes, work, and then family or social life or whatever other responsibilities you have. So I always saw it as like a 3-ball juggle, and I can't really juggle that well. I can't juggle. So so there was school, which was a priority ball or whatever, which I needed which was at the top, right? Because I failed a couple, not failed, like I guess I did fail, but like, okay, I took statistics like 3 times basically, and I couldn't afford to keep doing that over and over. So I eventually cut back on, I went to work part-time. So I slowly started working part-time at Nordstrom. And so then I was just juggling, working on the weekends, and then trying to like pass statistics and whatever else I needed to graduate. But then the third thing was always, I had like some fun hobbies that I like to do online. So I had this YouTube channel, which I created in 2011, which was before I was even in college. It was when I was in high school, probably. I can't count right now. But I had this YouTube channel that I created, and I don't know why, I just enjoyed to post videos on there. When I made it, there wasn't any sort of like monetization strategy I had in mind, or I didn't make it I don't think you even could make money. I think they just opened it up. It was like a long shot goal one day that maybe I could make some like fast food money with this or something. So anyways, I don't know why, I just kept posting videos, and I had like this little small channel, anonymous, not under my name, where I would post Photoshop tutorials, like how to do stuff in Photoshop. This is so long. I swear you guys don't even know. But okay, this is 2011. But the reason I even started that channel was because even before that, I liked posting videos online and just like fun, stupid stuff. Me and my friends would like, my friend like freestyle rapping over some stupid thing, and we'd upload it and title it like Kanye West New Freestyle, and see how many people we could get to click it. But those things would always get taken down for copyright, or what, it's strict online with music. I'm sure you guys know because you work with like royalty free sounds and images, so you know how strict it can get. So that stuff was always getting taken down, and at a certain point, I said, I need to start a channel where it's 100% originally my stuff, and they can't like strike me for anything. So I thought, what do I know how to do? I always enjoyed playing around with Photoshop and things, just from, I don't know, being a kid on the internet, like playing a lot of video games, I guess, and going on these online message boards where you would use these programs to just create different graphics and images. And I saw that there was like a niche or a space online that consumed this type of thing, and I just started doing it because I was like, oh, this person has like 250,000 subscribers on YouTube watching him, and I feel like I could do something similar, or at least something like that. Okay, so with that out of the way, that's like 2011. Let's fast forward. So I just kept making videos under that, and like I accidentally started uh, growing this thing that I now had to look after, or I accidentally started growing this thing that all of a sudden now I didn't want to let like die or collect dust because I birthed it, and now what do I do with it? So at a certain point, after a couple years after I created the channel, there was a certain point where I would make like maybe $100 a month or like $200 a month. Nothing crazy or ridiculous, but to actually like see a real amount of money or something tangible come out of it was cool, because I was like, what, this is like free money. You know, I did probably spend hundreds of hours making these videos for no apparent reason, but this $100 that I got sent at the end felt like completely free money compared to the money that I had to make at the gym or whatever, folding towels or doing strenuous stuff. So it did feel really cool. It didn't feel like work. So I guess the seed and the spark started there. But then real life got in the way. I transferred to Oakland University from Macomb because I felt like I couldn't graduate from Macomb because that's not a real college, because it's a community college. I don't know why. I just felt like that in my head. So I went here because, I don't know, I felt like I needed to go to college, like I was saying, and it got more expensive here. The tuition's a little bit more expensive here. And so I now had to focus my time more on like work and school, and somewhere unconsciously I just kind of like put that hobby stuff to the side and just kind of let it collect dust. But it was always still in the back of my head. I don't know why. I could never like not, it was just an itch that just kept coming back. So I probably let it collect dust for a year or two, and then after you work at a place for like 2 or 3 years, as you guys know, you just kind of get restless. Maybe you guys don't even last that long. I don't know. But I was working at Nordstrom for like 3 years, and like I was part-time and all that. So then there came this juggling point where I was like, okay, this 2 days a week that I'm working, selling shoes, making commission, what am I making like in 2 days? Maybe like a couple $100 or like $100 or $200. I just said in my head, okay, do I believe that if I spend the same amount of time like clocking in and clocking out of my own thing, like 8 hours a day solid, am I smart enough, or could I figure out some sort of way that I could at least make that same amount of money doing my own thing and finishing school? Because that'll be easier for me, because it'll just be less stressful for me. I can have a better schedule and more flexible, and I can finally graduate and pass. So I slowly weaned off of work, slowly started picking back up like the stuff I was doing online. And I tried to pick it back up maybe like 2 or 3 times. But each time I would start, and then I would say, no, there came a time like the third time where I was like, okay, I need to do this properly. If I'm going to do this, I need to have like a game plan and do this properly. So now cue like the dramatic like action movie music. So what I did, it was like nearing the end of the year. So I said January 1st, I think this was like 2016, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this like a really good effort, because I'm going to be graduating pretty soon. I only had a couple semesters left. The closer and closer graduation came, the more and more I still could not imagine myself taking my degree that I was going to get and going to get some job with it. I don't know. I couldn't imagine it. And the closer and closer it came to become reality, the more and more I started panicking and realizing like, okay, time's like moving and it's not waiting for me. So let me give this a shot. So I quit Nordstrom. I was just going here, and I had saved up a little. Basically what I did was I saved up a little amount of money. I wanted to give myself at least like some float time, like 6 months of a shot. So I saved up money. I sold like everything that I had that I didn't need on eBay, like any nice pairs of shoes or jackets or whatever that I was hoarding. I sold them all. I basically like just scrounged up all the money that I could. I put my gym membership on hold. I like did a whole bunch of stuff just to save as much money as possible because I knew I wasn't going to have any money coming in for a little bit. Not like I was homeless on the street. Obviously, like I still had a home to live in and all, but I saved up like money, and then I used it to rent a little studio space it was in the basement of some photography studio. It was really like a storage closet. It was super small that he let me clear out and turn into a place because I thought the only reason why, because I had been trying to pick the channel back up for like a solid 6 months to a year, and I thought this isn't working as fast as I thought, and it's maybe it's because I haven't shown my face on the channel yet, and the channels that seem to be doing well, they have a face behind them, and I haven't done that yet. So I renovated this whole space. I painted it. I went to IKEA, which the only IKEA around here is like 2 hours away. I got this desk called like the Skjorn. I don't know. You know how their names are all like Swedish. I brought it back to that place. I spent all this money and I made it look nice. I even got like little plants. They were alive, but I killed them eventually because I don't know. I'm not a good plant owner, I've learned. But I started recording videos in that space, and in that kind of like in those efforts, I went and bought like a more modern DSLR. I started picking up this stuff that I had to start learning that previously I was just doing screen recordings on my computer. It kind of was separate from what I now am able to use, like this microphone and this equipment and this camera that I kind of had to figure out and learn. So I got in front of the camera. I started shooting videos with me in front of them, and they weren't all that good either, and they didn't work like I thought either. But through that thing, I reformatted my whole channel. I rebranded it as just my name. I started new Instagram, new Facebook, new Twitter, just for like building this audience purposes. I just stopped using my personal. I mean, I have the personal ones, but I said I'm just gonna start a new one, and I basically started like a clean slate. I went and read all the books I could possibly find on how to grow a business or like how to do something online, and I stumbled upon some really good channels online and books that kind of acted as like digital mentors, people like Tim Ferriss or channels like Gary Vaynerchuk's online. There's a bunch of information out there and books that you can read that might not talk about how to start a YouTube channel, but they'll talk about how to run a business or how to like do some sort of entrepreneurial thing if that's what you want to do. So I just turned my life into trying to make this work. I just got obsessive about it. And now where are we? I haven't thought of this in a long time. So yeah, so for about a year, I made videos in that studio space. It did pick up a little bit more traction. I was committed to making like three videos a week, or trying to go every day eventually. And I would be coming to class here and trying to do that on the side to like make it work. So it started picking up a little bit of traction, more and more, but I still had to get like freelance jobs and work to pay for tuition, because I still had 2 more semesters left, which cost like, I don't know, like let's just say I had like $10,000 left of money to make that I had no idea how I was going to make it, because $100 a month does not reach 10,000 does not reach 10,000 very quickly. It would take like many, many years of that calculation. So if you guys remember around the time Snapchat was like super popular, now it seems like Instagram's kind of like taken over it a little bit. Remember like those Snapchat filters that like when someone's birthday, it was like the cool thing to have. Through all these different like books and YouTube channels and podcasts that I was listening to, I got the idea to start like a little freelance website business where I could design and sell those filters. I kept trying to find the best name possible. Everything was taken, like snapchatfilters.com or snapfilters. Every single domain name was taken. So I was like, what else would people type into Google? So I made it snapchatfiltermaker.com, right? So I made business cards the next day. I spent like way too much to have them done the next day because I felt like I had to do this now. And I was like, yes, this is how I'm going to pay for the rest of my tuition. This is going to be so huge. I'm going to do one for every single restaurant in the area. Like every single business needs this. I'm going to have unlimited work. And it wasn't that fast, obviously. But I did like start doing a couple jobs for friends, like this guy who was a DJ, and he wanted it to say like his DJ name when he was DJing a party or an event, or this business that wanted their business name. So I was like, cool, I'm making like some freelance side of money, but I'm still trying to make this other thing work, which was the YouTube channel. I didn't really have like much of a detailed plan, but I just thought like if I just upload every single day or as often as possible and grow an audience, I can figure it out. So I, through that business, like creating the Snapchat filter business, the DJ that I was working with like knew a lot of people, because I guess I'm like DJs know a lot of people, I don't know. And his thing was like, okay, you do mine for free and I'll introduce you to like 3 other people that want you to do one for them, and you can charge them whatever you want. Like you can tell them whatever you want. Trust me, they'll pay it. But I still was like, no, I'm going to tell them like $100 or whatever. So I had like this little thing going, and then he introduced me to some guy who had an energy drink that he wanted to build and like promote and eventually sell to Coca-Cola or something. But it was this small energy drink. You guys probably have never heard of it. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I'll tell you why. But he introduced me to this guy. He's like, oh, I want a Snapchat filter because I think that could be good for this energy drink. And you seem like you know what you're doing on social media. I'm actually looking for a guy to do my entire social media, like my Facebook, my Instagram, my website, my Twitter, whatever. He's like, meet me at my office here and we can talk about, like, I can see if you know what you're doing. So I drove to this guy's office because this was like, I mean, this could have been how I could pay the rest of my tuition. So I drove to this guy's office like a couple times. I showed him like a plan for his social media and how we would approach it and how we would market this energy drink. And he kind of just like gave me this casual interview just to see if I knew what I was talking about. And he determined that I did. And so like we would start I would manage all their social media and he would pay me bi-monthly. That's 2 times a month, right? And is it bi-weekly? I never remember. Okay, so yeah, bi-weekly. So he would pay me like a check 2 times just straight salary, not based off if I took care of all that stuff for him. But you know, it's one of those things where like obviously that's not the funnest thing. It's not what I wanted to do. And so I didn't really like it. I didn't really like doing it like in all the aspects. For example, the people that I had to work with as a team there, like I just felt like they didn't know what they were talking about, and they should just like everything that I wanted to do, they would make me wait. Like they would make me get approval from like 2-3 people. I would say like the LinkedIn button is broke on your website. We need to change that. And we also need to change all your socials to be the same thing or whatever. Like you do the social media, right, Erica? Yeah. So you know what it's like. Like imagine every time you wanted to like post something, you had to ask like 2 people. Maybe you do. I don't know. Yeah. So you just post. So for me, I'm like that too. I want to just post. I felt like they absolutely did not know what they were talking about. So they just needed to listen to me, but they wouldn't give me complete control. Maybe I'm a control freak. I don't know. But I didn't care. I just needed some money to pay for tuition. They were looking for someone who was like going to be with the company long term and maybe not want to take pay right now because eventually they're going to sell it to Coca-Cola and I'll be part of it. I don't know. I didn't believe any of that. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Really, I just wanted something to complete my internship here at Oakland, which, I mean, you guys all had to do an internship, right? which that stressed me out for a long time because I didn't realize that you could just say that you did an internship and sign it. And well, for me, I didn't realize that I did technically do the internship there. So like, yeah, I was like, cool, this is going to count as my internship. I'm doing this like social media for this company, and it'll also make me enough money to pay for the last 2 semesters. So I'm doing that. I'm like taking pictures. Every day I'm thinking of how can we promote this thing, post pictures on Instagram. And come the end of the 2-week trial period or whatever, he said he's going to give me half salary until he deems that my work is good enough, which I feel is fair, sure enough. So come the 2-week thing, we're ready to go to like the full salary that we agreed upon. And then like during the meeting, he was like, me and my partners said we're going to this is the price that we're willing to pay for this. And I don't know why, but I'm really good at negotiation, I think, because I used to buy and sell things a lot. That's another thing I always did to try to get through college, is like I would buy and flip clothes on eBay, or like just buy and sell stuff, like anything. I would flip all types of stuff on eBay. I have a 200 plus rating, 5-star. I'm a power seller. No. But like, so whenever you're selling stuff online, you have to deal with negotiation. Like people always try to lowball you, and I don't know, I guess it kind of translated. So I didn't budge. He offered me not even that much lower than we agreed upon. But to me, it just felt like not fair because we already agreed on that price, and now he's trying to like snake it a little bit lower. So I thought he had no like so like the tense negotiation like scene here. In my mind, I knew that he absolutely had no like, he didn't have anything to stand on, because in my mind it was impossible that he was going to find anyone like who was going to do it as well as me. In my mind, I felt like he basically hit the jackpot by finding me. Not to say that I was doing it great or anything like that, but realistically, like he was not going to find anyone anytime soon. That at that convenient time of my life, I was literally, this is all I was reading about and thinking about, and like, how do I make my Instagram? How do I do my YouTube? So, and I needed money. So like realistically, I don't think they ever did find anyone else. Honestly, they never asked. So anyways, I said no. He said, okay, sure. I'll have to get back to them and we'll get back to you. So I was like, okay, cool. That never panned out though. They never got back to me. They never got back to me. So I did get paid a couple checks, which paid for like 1 or 2, like a little bit of my last semesters, but eventually I did just have to take out a student loan. It just like caught up to me too quickly. I did have to take out a little bit of a student loan, but I didn't care that. So after that, I texted him like 2 weeks later. I was like, do you want the passwords back? Like, hey, like, honestly, I don't even want to do it anymore, but do you at least want the passwords back? I never got any response. I feel like I don't know the password, but I feel like they just, either he quit the company or they just gave up, or they just don't believe in social media, which their loss. So after that, I just went back to doing what I was doing. I think I did a few more of the Snapchat filters just for different people, but that started to get annoying too. And it started to like, I realized that I hate working for clients, and I wanted to like, at that point, I was kind of a little pissed off. Not pissed off, but like, I was like, fine, I'll do my own social media, and I'm just going to focus 100% now on this. I took out the student loan, so I wasn't as like stressed about, I don't want to take it. I already did it. So I already took out the student loan, whatever. Now I'm just going to focus on my own thing. And I have until I graduate, which was like 6 months to a year. I was like, I have until I graduate to make this work, or then I'll figure something out. Then I'll go get a job with my degree or whatever, because I'll have my degree. So I graduated last year. So that was that year. Before I graduated, I would just go to class. I usually wouldn't really pay attention to class. I'd just bring my laptop, sit in the back, and either go on Reddit or like just browse, like read my comments or answer to comments, or like, because my channel still had a little bit of activity. Now I'd been working on it, but nothing crazy. Or like sometimes when I was really trying to go hard and upload every day, I would bring my laptop to class and I would like be uploading a video in class and the fan on my laptop would start like getting really loud. Like, I hope nobody is paying attention right now, but I never wanted anyone to see what I was doing. So yeah, I wrote down a list of goals. I said, by the time I graduate, I'm going to reach X amount of subscribers. I'm going to be able to I'm going to graduate. I'm going to be able to afford at least this or afford this if I want, whatever. I feel like it's important to write down or at least think about, or at least write down your goals. And then I think I was listening to like a Tony Robbins thing. I don't remember, but then at the bottom, I wrote down like how I'm going to do that. So I didn't just write down like what I was going to do. I wrote down how I'm going to do that and why. So I wrote down like how I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to spend like 8 solid hours a day as if I was working a real 9-to-5 job on this, like on my computer, like coming up with like shooting, recording videos, like just making, like adding to links or whatever, just work, like act like I was punching in for work 8 solid hours a day. And then I also wrote like network with other people, try to collaborate, because I knew that like relationships with people were important, but I still don't realize it to this day. It's still super important. I think that's one thing you guys have over advantage of me was when I went here, I didn't go to any clubs. I didn't really I just commuted back and forth and went home and did my thing online. I think it is important to like know people out of everyone. So I did start like a little podcast too in the past year. And I talked to people who are more successful than me even. And they've gone to film school and they've gone to not film school. I have both ends. And out of everyone I've talked to, they all agree that the most valuable thing they got out of any of their schooling was the relationships and the people they met that ended up being collaborators with them on like their career or future projects or business that they built together. So whether you care about like your degree or whether you think you're going to use your degree, I think it is important to, while you're in school, you have this environment around you, which is you're kind of never going to have again, where it's like almost like a simulated win or loss. Like it's not like if you mess up here, you're going to die or anything. I don't know. Like while you're okay, that was not the right comment. Okay. But while you're here, I think it's important that you just like ask questions of the people around you and get to know them and make yourself available, whether that's with like friendship or whatever services that you think you're good at. Like if you're good at designing posters or whatever, and you know that so-and-so has a band, like offer to like make them a poster or something. I don't know. But like relationships with people are really important. But that's a tangent. So we're almost done with the story though. So you can, I've vlogged a little bit of my time of my last year. But that was just another example of like me experimenting to like, because I wrote down like I can't just be making Photoshop tutorials. I need to throw a whole bunch of stuff at the wall. Like, so get in front of the camera, show my face, try doing a vlog, try doing a camera review, try doing video editing tutorials, try doing, like, I just wrote down all the stuff that I might be able to do. And I tried all of those, and a few of those have been sticking pretty decently. Like the video editing stuff really took off. That's when my channel really started to take off. And I mean, now I started different things too. Like I said, I started the podcast where I interview other people, but basically, by the end of it all kind of started ramping up. And then by December, January, I don't know if YouTube or something online, like flipped a switch at the new year to do spring cleaning or something, but maybe they saw that my channel was being really active, uploading every day. I think I went home. I have like a little bit of a small walk-in closet, so it's like the sound is a little bit better in there. So I would just go there, sit like cross-legged style on the floor with my laptop and like record with my microphone in my hand and like one hand on the computer, and I would make a video every single day, and that was the number one priority I had for the day. Like before my friends would say, let's go out and do this, let's go out and do that, I would make a video, whether that meant staying up till 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever, because at this point I had put so much time and effort and just like mental and physical investment into it that this was like my last shot effort. So I think I upload every single day for like 100 days in a row. I'm not sure. It kind of went off and on. I have like maybe 700 videos on the channel right now. So it's built like a library of stuff that is just kind of padding and growing. But right around the time that January came around, the channel started picking up pretty quickly. So that was my last semester. And then by the time I actually graduated, the channel was doing pretty well. So it all kind of like, it kind of happened at the perfect time. I don't know if that's because I decided that that's when it was going to happen, or if I got lucky, or I don't know. I honestly think that the moment that I decided to do it is when it started happening. Whereas previously, I guess that's the last point I want to make, is the biggest struggle that I had when I was at school was I knew two things. I knew that I just never saw myself using my IT degree to go like get a job somewhere doing IT. I don't know. I knew that. And then I knew one more thing. I knew that I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like trapped in this. I felt like I would never see the end of the tunnel. Only when I started reading and researching and looking up all the different information online and finding all this information, did I realize that it was a possibility that no one ever told me, that you can do your own thing and make a living. It's not going to be easy and it might not work, but what if I told you you could do, like, you could make your own lane or whatever. You could do your own, it could work, you know. It is a serious choice. And no one ever told me that. So I guess I should tell you guys that. That does not mean start a YouTube channel or like whatever that means. It just means I think most of you probably know what you already enjoy doing in your free time, but no one ever told you that you could do that for full time. So you can do that for full time, but you just have to be really smart about it. And you really have to use the information that's out there, and you really have to be willing to sacrifice a lot. And I guess you really have to want it if you do, because nobody's going to show you how. But if you want to make a living, like doing film or video or making clothing, I'm not saying you're going to do it, but you could at least try. And I think that it's a possibility and you could. So yeah, I graduated. The channel started like showing good signs of taking off. I told my parents, hey, look, I've been working in my closet for the past 6 months. That's what I've been doing upstairs every day. And I think that they just found my channel somehow. I don't remember. But I was like, look, I know this sounds stupid, but this could work. Like this could be a good career. I think they were kind of skeptical, but it all happened pretty quickly within the past year, so they didn't really have much time to pressure me. I don't know if it would have not worked still till now. Who knows if I would still have like the determination, motivation to do it. I think that's the hardest part, is nobody's going to tell you you're on the right path. Or actually most people will tell you what you're doing is like, most people will show skepticism and kind of look at you funny, especially people that don't know you that well or not care enough, like distant relatives or like strangers or friends of friends. Those people will probably just look at you like you're dumb. Well, I'm like, yeah, like whenever there'd be family gatherings, some of my like older male cousins who are a little bit older than me, they have perhaps like physical businesses or stores, or they're supporting a family and kids. And I look like the kid that's getting a little bit too old to still be like a kid. and they ask me what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh well, I have this website, and trust me, I made $50 here and I made $50 there. To them, that's the hardest conversation. That's the hardest part of when you're trying to do something and you're not sure if it's gonna work. I think for me, that was the hardest part. But if you're really determined, and you have to find that you have to really believe in it. Otherwise, you won't be able to survive those type of stresses and pressures. But I think I talked for a lot, and that's pretty much it. I graduated. I put my degree in the drawer. It is really just a piece of paper that comes in the mail. I can attest to that. I graduated. Maybe I'll use it one day. I don't know. But it made my grandma happy. So, yeah. And then I've just been building this as a business ever since. So in the past year, I've created digital products for my website. I've just tried to, I've worked with different brands. I've just built the catalog of videos and traffic that's coming in so that it is able to make enough money. It's exactly like a business. It's pretty much a business, So I wouldn't consider myself a filmmaker or I don't know. I don't even really know what I would consider myself, but I'm just running a small business that it relates to digital media, and I do a lot of software education and entertainment, I guess, if you find entertainment out of it. And yeah, so I wanted to, I guess at this point, you guys can ask me whatever questions you have if you feel like if you want to hear me answer it. And that'll be the last half of this. So what do you guys think of that whole long story? Was it boring? Really? Okay, cool. It's so long. I hate telling it. It gets longer every single time. It gets longer every few months that go by. So I don't know. Did you guys relate to any points of that, or have any? If you have anything, if you have any specific questions, feel free. So it's your turn now. The pressure's on you guys. What is it? Sure. Yeah, Nordstrom. There's one at I didn't work at that one though. It's a small little dinky store. So they do have this image of having expensive clothing, but that doesn't mean the workers are that doesn't mean the people working there are making expensive money.
So you said you quit that, and then you saved money to support yourself for 6 months, right?
Yeah, I would just estimate I gave myself a 6-month window because I knew the tuition bills were coming every 6 months, and so I gave myself at least a window, and that's when I started doing all that freelance and started those side businesses, and eventually I just had to take the student loan anyway. So I failed. It's a big snowball that comes faster than I was going at the time. So was that even your question though?
Yeah, I was just wondering was it hard to support yourself?
I mean, not really, because I was still living at home. So what's gonna happen? I just felt like a failure. But no, I didn't feel like a failure, but I would feel like a failure if I stayed like that for too long. Because like I said, any conversation you have, people ask you what you're doing now. How come you're not working? Whatever. You need a job or whatever. So I don't think I would have been able to last 3 years, answering those I'm doing this thing, trust me. So luckily it happened quicker than that.
How many subscribers do you have?
I think right now it's
476,000 when I looked.
I think it's 485 right now.
Bro, when I looked 6 months ago, it was 3,000.
It's
300,000.
yeah, it's so there was so like I said, right around when I was graduating, there was a time where I was growing 1,000 subscribers a day, which is crazy. Right now it's still growing 800 a day, but I mean I should be at 500,000 next month, which is cool.
How much are you making a month?
So well, no, I think that's important. So it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. That's not how you get paid, right? So especially for my type of channel, it's not the type of channel that you might see that's popular on YouTube with 1 million subscribers. I don't know, who do you guys watch on YouTube?
Sensei LaFox.
I've heard it's a guy, right? He makes memes, right? Wait.
Or yeah,
He made a Vine, right?
Yeah, I think he used to do vines. Yeah.
He made a Vine that made that Lil Yachty song popular, right? Okay, that's how I remember it. Who else do you guys watch? Does anyone? Who? Jeffree Star. I've heard of them. I don't really like watch them, but I know them. Anyone? Funhouse. I feel like I've heard of them. I don't really remember. Okay. So like with certain channels, I'd say like Jeffree Star does makeup, right?
Yeah, he does like reviews and stuff.
Is it makeup though, right?
It's like a beauty influencer.
Yeah, so like channels like that, I would say are more in their audience is different because if he has like I think he has a couple million subscribers or something. Yeah. So channels that do like vlogging and entertainment type of content, I would say are harder to keep, but with those type of channels, if they post a video, most of their audience, if they're engaged, will come to it. Whereas my channel is a little bit different and it has positives and negatives. So there's a lot of people that might not even know what I look like. So it's very segmented. I might have 500,000 subscribers, but there's like probably half of those are there because they wanted to learn how to do something. And then maybe half of those are there for something else. And then maybe only a fraction of those are there because they enjoy the podcast that I just started. And maybe even a fraction of those would want to see something like this. You know what I'm saying? But the positive part is some of my content just doesn't get old. So I have a video that I made in like, I don't know, 2015 or 2014. And those are still getting views because how to export a video in Premiere Pro doesn't really, it'll stay relevant for a long time. And so if I build a library of like, do you guys know that channel Khan Academy? Yeah, so like that's how I passed calculus and all this stuff. But like his channel I think also has like 4 million subscribers or 2 million or 3 million. And it's not like every time they post a video, they get like 1 million views, but he has like 2,000 videos on his channel. And each month though, they get like tens of millions of views because that's a different type of audience. People are coming there from search. So basically the subscriber count is it's an interesting number to look at. It's a good number to look like. It's a good milestone number, but there's a lot of information underneath of it. The number that matters more is like views per month, and the number that matters even more than that is minutes watched per month. So how much you make depends on like how many views you're getting. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you get at all. They could all be dead subscribers, you know? So if you get $1, this is roughly average. You get about $1 for every 1,000 views you make, $1 to $2. Channels that do like, so if a guy makes a video talking about like what's the best life insurance policy for you, advertisers that video might not do as many views, but he might get more like $5 per 1,000 views because it's like a more specific topic that advertisers want to pay more for. Whereas if I just make a video, like a vlog, that'll probably get more like the standard $1 per 1,000. So my content's like right in the middle. It's still kind of specific to filmmakers, camera, photo companies. So I probably get like 1 to 2, something like that. So yeah, it's just, so let me break down how it makes money. Is that like, would you guys be interested in that? Okay. So I'd say like I make money like 3 or 4 or 5 different ways. So the YouTube channel is where a majority of the traffic comes in. That's where people are searching and they stumble upon my channel. And hopefully it's like the top of a big funnel where not everybody gets to the bottom, but the better I make the business, the more I can make a living out of it. So sure. So like my channel, I think in the past month, like I think a consistent average I've gotten for the past year is like 2 million views a month over all my videos, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. I have 700 videos, so it gets easier. So off of those views, I was making like $1 or $2 per 1,000. Okay, this sounds like okay. No. So 2 million views, you're making like $1 or $2 per 1,000 views, right? So that's the YouTube AdSense money. That's the money that everyone like complains about and that all these controversies come about. And that's also the program that now they changed it to where you have to have I think have at least 4,000 or 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time on your channel before you can opt in. They're always changing the rules on how you can monetize, but the good news is that that's not the most money that I make on the channel, or that's not the most money that you should aspire to make if you're looking to do something similar to this. So what YouTube pays you should be less than what you're able to make yourself if you're running like a good business out of it. So just in the past year or two, I've been able to create my own digital products. So like plugins and add-ons to Adobe Premiere and Photoshop. So like transitions and effects and LUTs that I can bundle up, and I can sell those on my website. So I have a couple things on my website that are $50 products. And so rather than YouTube paying me $1 every time I get 1,000 people to like view my stuff, I'd rather I get 1,000 people to view my stuff and hopefully one person buys something for $50. So I'd rather like end up making 5, 10, 20 times more than YouTube is. Like the more, the better, the more like you can take control of your own like sources of revenue, the better. Not saying I'm doing that. I'm not anywhere close to making like 10. Still, the YouTube check is still like significant and like it helps. But if it went away tomorrow, it wouldn't be like the complete end of the world, because I'm still making like more than 50% of my money on my own website. However, they do it all does come like the top of the pyramid. It's not a pyramid scheme, but the top of the pyramid, or the top of the like, it all kind of like branches out from the fact that people are searching on Google and finding my content, and through my content, the better I'm able to put like links in my website, and the better I'm able to like manage all my social medias. The like every million views I can get, hopefully I can get some people to follow me on Instagram. Hopefully I can get some people to go to my website and like check that out. So you want to capture the attention that you're getting and try to deepen it. So instead of growing wide, you can like you can go deeper. So although this room is smaller than if I would open my phone right now and turn on Instagram Live, it's much, much better because like with you guys, I have like a more deep connection with me face to face now than like the majority of people would do. So you guys are worth like hundreds or thousands of like that type of relationship. In like, not to just say that to make you guys feel better, but there's also other ways you can make money. Like, for example, if someone signs up to the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, I do have a link that they can go through. And if they happen to sign up through my link, yeah, so like affiliate programs. So it doesn't charge them anymore. But since Adobe recognizes that they came from my traffic, I think I don't know exactly what they give. I think it's like $5 or something. I don't know. It's like something per every sign up. So just because my content specifically is so like oriented around people using those softwares, I do get people signing up every day through my links. And then there's so many different ways that people do. So like you can do affiliate links on Amazon as well. Let's say you talk about like cameras, you can link the camera in Amazon and you get a commission. You can sign up to get commissions in that way. And then you can work with brands. So if you have an audience and you have a small reach, a company might want to reach out to you to like I get emails all the time. I don't really do them often because like when you're building an audience, you want to, I don't know, you don't want to just like, yeah, you guys can all tell, like you get annoyed of following somebody if they keep like pushing fake stuff. Yeah. So I only do it when it really makes sense. And if I think that it's something that I would talk about anyway. So like, for example, GoPro sent me this like GoPro camera square rig thing. And they didn't pay me for it, but they just like the payment was the camera, and I was like, cool. I already actually had talked about this type of like 360 camera before on my channel, and so it makes sense because I already talked about it. They're gonna send it to me so I can actually talk about it and show it, and the camera is like relatively expensive, so that's decent payment for the amount. They wanted me to make a couple videos about it, so and like another fifth way is like sometimes occasionally if someone wants to learn directly through Skype or like one-on-one training, or it's just like there's different ways you can make money. So like tomorrow this person wants like personal one-on-one on Skype, like just teaching them because that's how they learn better. So I could charge like for the session there. And there's like tons, like the beauty YouTubers and stuff, they have their own makeup lines. And yeah, so he has his own product. He has a physical product. I have a digital product. Like, so there's like dozens of ways that you can make it, but the main point is like the YouTube ad revenue. There's some people that turn the YouTube ad revenue off completely because they don't want it interfering with their actual business that they're running. Like Jeffree Star might not want to have ads on his video because he doesn't want like Laurier or whatever advertising their sticks in front of the video that was supposed to be advertising his sticks. So instead of making a couple $100, he might just turn the ad completely off so that everyone can watch his video uninterrupted and then like maybe go to his website. So I don't know. Do you guys have any, or like keep asking me questions? I don't know. Anything. It doesn't have to be about anything specific.
Would you ever go back to working with like the energy, not the energy drink company specifically, but going back to
For someone else? Yeah, I always thought like if at a certain point what I'm doing fizzles out, or if there's a really good opportunity that comes up, let's say, I don't know, who's like a really big NBA star right now? All right, let's say LeBron James, for some reason they need someone on their team to be LeBron James' personal video guy or personal social media guy. That might be something that I would like think is worth it to kind of put what I'm doing on the back burner, maybe take care of it on the weekends or the side, and take the opportunity of being LeBron James' personal social media guy for like a year. So I would consider it case by case, but I would never. It would have to be something that I would also be willing to do for free. You know what I'm saying? I get people emailing me all the time like, hey, can you edit my video, or can you edit my music video or whatever? And I'm sure I'm turning down like a couple $100 here, there. But I just don't, I just rather would not sell my time to work for like to do client work for projects at this point that I don't want to do. But if like someone that I listen to their music already emailed me and wanted me to work on a video with them, I would be down to do that for free, you know, because I would want to be a part of that project. Interesting. Anything else? Sure.
How happy are you on a daily basis?
Is it because I smile a lot?
No, I'm just wondering. This is just something I think about when careers and whatnot.
I'm super happy with what I'm doing right now. I can't imagine doing anything else. I feel like all the stress of when I was like super stressed out or undecided on what I was going to do is kind of gone now. I also feel like I've established my like I've built my website up to the point now where I no longer feel like awkward or insecure about explaining to people what I do, because I know that like what I'm doing is like working now. And yeah, I mean, it also, I never have to wake up to an alarm clock. I don't have to drive anywhere if I don't want to. I can be here right now and just not do anything all day and still make money like passively. Like I had a couple of people buy some stuff on my website while I was asleep. So I mean, like I do have to work, and I do work really hard, but like I can travel for work, and I can, if I need to go do something tomorrow and I can't be at my computer, I can do that, you know. I can get back to work later. So I'm very happy. Anyone else?
Well, I like how you do, like on your YouTube channel, you do videos where you explain how other people did different things like the
Yeah. So that's another good point. Like when if you're trying to do something like grow an Instagram or grow a YouTube channel, you have to really hustle and like have a lot of different strategies. And one good one, if you're just starting out, is talk about relevant things and like attach yourself to relevant things. So if a new music video comes out, I know that I should at least do like a live stream discussion about it or try to talk about some things from that video, because like it or not, there's going to be some people who don't know me, but they're searching for ASAP Rocky. And then that's just like I said earlier, hopefully that's another thing where I can get more people to like come into the general cloud, and then maybe hopefully they can click more of my videos and see my face and then be like, oh, this guy's cool, I'm going to send him a message on Instagram. And then like, oh, and then like 6 months later, oh, this guy just put out this cool, useful thing. And then, oh, I'll buy that. I'll support this guy or whatever, you know? So, or I mean, they don't even need to buy anything. Just their traffic is, just having an audience is something that is valuable in itself, because you can, I mean, brands want to pay you for that, or like you just, it's just valuable even if the people don't directly pay you. It's not like it's all a scam when I talk about it. It's like this is what I love doing, and I really care about my audience, and it's like the number one thing I think about is like how to grow an audience and build an audience and like and maintain that relationship. But on the business side of things too, you have to try to make it as nice of a funnel as possible. Not, I mean, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, there's a few other people that do similar things as me, but thank you. And that's the other thing too, is like, I don't know how hard it would be to just make videos like about entertainment or comedy, because what I'm doing is I'm offering some value first, and then hopefully people will want to subscribe or like show me support back. So nobody paid me at first for that first year. Like I was paying all this stuff out of my pocket and taking all these, like spending my time and money. And this will, like, if anyone's just trying to start this because they think it's going to be like, they're going to make money or it's going to be like great. I spend so much money on like this microphone, this cable, and this thing and that thing, and that I might not even need, and like buying 4 microphones just in case I might want to talk to 4 people. Like you have to actually, it has to be something you're passionate about and that you do naturally with your free time, and then think about how you can monetize that, or if you want to turn that into a career path. I also think there's nothing wrong with if you just want to get a job that you enjoy. For me, that wouldn't have been IT. Maybe I would have been just as happy if I was just able to like have a job with lots of freedom and working on camera stuff and a good balance of time. But whatever like your situation is that makes you happy, and whatever you need to, however much money you think you need to like do that, then take whatever path you want. For me, I never thought like I'm going to make a lot of money. I thought if I can at least just make the same amount of money that I was making part-time at my retail job, which is not that much. I was like, I don't care if I have to work a lot harder. If I can at least just be making like $200 on the weekend, but doing my own thing, that's like the starting point. Then I can breathe, and then I can just focus on then that's like the transition is done, and I can focus on just building from there, seeing where I want to go from there. Anyone else? Anything? I think we're good.
Okay, so for vlogging and filmmaking, do you have a specific camera that you would recommend?
So I don't think there's ever like a best camera or like a specific camera. Honestly, just whatever. So here's a step formula. Just think about your budget. Like how much do you like kind of want to spend? A lot of people have phones that can record like really good quality. Like iPhones can all record 1080p HD. And there's a lot of channels that I watch that shoot straight off their iPhone that I just never realized it or could care less, and they have millions of like views off of their iPhone. So first, just like use what's handy to you, but second, be like, okay, I got $500 for a camera. Do some Googling, what's in this price range. You'll usually come up with a few YouTube videos or websites like breaking down like some good cameras in that range. And then it just comes down to just picking one really. Like for vlogging, I like the small little cameras, like the pocket ones, because it's just kind of like uncomfortable for me to be carrying a big camera around. I'm not really a vlogger. I did like 10 vlogs or something, but I tried it out. But like the Canon G7X Mark II is a popular one. The Canon 80D or 70D is a popular one for YouTubers. But honestly, you just pick one, and then after you use it, you start to realize like, oh man, this camera doesn't have 60 frames per second. I really wanted that for slow motion. Or this camera doesn't have a 4K. I really wanted 4K. And then you just like buy, sell, trade, repeat until you're finally find that one that you really enjoy, you know. But don't make it like too stressful of a decision. Just literally, I do a lot of stuff still on my iPhone. Like I'm shooting this on my iPhone. I've interviewed people, and like with the are you guys familiar with podcasts? Yeah, so like with my podcast, when I wanted to start doing a video format, instead of buying, like the best way to do it at this point would be for me to get 3 decent camcorders, have a like this person shot, both shot, me shot, and have 3. But that would be like several $1,000s worth of like nice camcorders, you know, if I was looking for like a long-term setup. So if for just starting out and trying it, I just use my iPhone because there's another popular podcast on YouTube that gets millions of views that interviews really famous people. And I know for a fact that the guy recorded them on his iPhone for a long time. So I've interviewed some like decently popular people right off of that, and they don't care. And the people watching don't, well, some people do care, but eventually I'm going to upgrade. But, you know, as you can see, you can use like what's available to you. Because I think everyone has a phone in their pocket, you know. Especially for Instagram. Sometimes like the pictures you take right off your phone, they do better and they get more likes than like the nice ones that you had to import from Lightroom and whatever, you know. Going once. Anyone else have any final? Sure. Ask as many as you want.
Do you think there's a lot of job opportunities for people who want to do film editing and stuff like that in Michigan? Or do you think it's better to move to LA or something like that?
So, okay, so I think that the way you said the question is good because you said people who want to do editing work. I think there's going to be like a lot of editing work available out there. It might not be as traditional as you might have thought it was like 4 years ago. More and more now, like if my channel was 3 times, 4 times bigger, I could have the budget to just hire someone and pay them like a decent salary to edit my videos for me. And maybe eventually I will, or maybe I won't. I don't know, but I know people do that. So more and more the jobs that you'll find with editing might not be as traditional, I think. Like you might start editing music videos for some artists, or it might be some sort of like non-traditional agreement, or you could definitely work at a company and be their in-house editor. I think just it's only going to go up from here because video is becoming more and more easy to produce and host and consume. People aren't really watching TV as much. Just more and more the way that people are communicating is going to be through video, and I think that there's going to be more room for editors in that space. As far as if it's in like, so the other thing is a lot of work when it comes to video is online because the videos are hosted online. So it doesn't really matter if you specifically live in Michigan. For example, I live in Michigan and I really didn't have any problem doing it. Now I have visited New York and I have visited LA just cause and just to meet up, collaborate with some people and work. But I will say though, I think if you just threw yourself into like an area like LA where there is a lot of film and TV going on, and you are the type of person that if you're in the coffee shop, you're gonna like chat up the person in line with you, and then you realize that they work here and they need someone. Like if you're that type of person who's outgoing and if you put yourself in that place, I do think it would be good for you to just throw yourself into like a high opportunity area like that. I definitely I would recommend it. I didn't do it, but like I definitely wouldn't hesitate to like say to do it, because location is important. That's why now I do find myself needing to like fly to New York or go to LA, because I want to do things in person, and everyone is in New York or LA. But don't let it hold you back, because up until this point I've built everything I've done from Michigan, from like a pretty like, I don't know, it's not like that many people are like, I don't know, from Michigan, which is like just a random Midwest state. And I still get emails all the time of work opportunities or people sending me. So it just depends on if you want to do freelance or be more traditional. But if you have the family situation and the ability to just maybe live somewhere for 6 months, and I think you would probably find a lot of good networking and find yourself in a good opportunity. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. That was important. But I forgot. But you get it. You get the point. Did I answer it, or did I just make you more confused? What do you guys think? What time is it anyway?